Good Wednesday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report, coming to you today with a few things to talk about. One of the big things that really excited me yesterday was watching the return of those astronauts that had been, no matter what MSNBC tries to tell you, they were stranded up there for a lot longer than was originally said, for 8 days. They have been up there for almost 10 months. And when Elon Musk offered President Biden at the time a solution to bring them home, he didn't want to do it because it was taking place before the November 6th elections, and did not want to give anything to his opponent to where he may say that he helped do this and bring those people back home. Well, it was exciting yesterday to watch that capsule come down and land, deploying 4 parachutes that were almost a ballet of spreading as it hit the water. Even the dolphins and porpoise came around to see what was going on and see if maybe their alien predecessors were coming home. Well, we don't know. There's a supposition by some that could be the truth, but we won't go there into the dark side just yet this morning. Anyway, the remarkable genius of these rockets that Elon Musk has developed and almost went broke doing is amazing on how accurate, almost to the minute, when the landing time was forecasted at 5:15, it came down at 5:15, and when they said 45 minutes to egress the occupants from the capsule aboard the rescue ship, it took exactly 45 minutes. You don't get this kind of accuracy from anyone, and especially the people from NASA in the past never gave you the accuracy that Elon Musk's SpaceX will provide you now in conjunction with them. The disappointing thing during that was the ex-astronaut Kelly was there, and you know that his twin brother is the one that has traded in his Tesla against as a protest against Elon Musk and Doge, who is a senator right now, but made a fool of himself. And then the brother yesterday, when he was there as an expert, having been to space and so on, his big thing was they weren't trapped there. We could have gotten them at any time. Out and out lie, folks. It's not true. And Elon Musk squared that away last night with divulging his conversation with the Biden administration, who did not want those astronauts brought back by him before the election because it would have harmed their chances to screw America one more time for 4 more years. And boy, did we dodge a bullet there. There's no doubt about that. But anyway, it's wonderful. Welcome home to both of those astronauts that were stranded there so long, and Godspeed, as well as thank you to the crew of that rescue mission that went up there, did the job 1, 2, 3, and with flawlessly. So I guess that the Democratic side of the aisle will be a little upset about another win for the Trump administration, is how they're going to view it. And especially now that the infighting is taking place among several of the Democratic leaders or ex-leaders, it's going to blow up in their face now. In the infighting, Schumer came out and really released the plan and said it out loud for the first time on the air. And we'll take a look here.
I'm sort of the orchestra leader, and I have a lot of talent in that orchestra. So what I do is I show them off. We have some great spokespeople, people like Chris Murphy and Brian Schatz. We have, Democrats are learning to do the digital social media much better than we did before. I put Cory Booker and Tina Smith in charge. And then we have Bernie going out to Republican areas and doing rallies and rallying. So we have a load of talent in our caucus, and I'll tell you one thing. We are totally united in one thing. Many things, but one thing above all. We are united in going after Trump.
Oh, my God.
We are totally united in one thing. Many things, but one thing above all. We are united in going after Trump.
But these people are sick people. These are people that I think they hate our country. You want to know the truth?
He did.
It's amazing on how they tell on themselves, and MSNBC and the like will just pass right over that, gloss over it because that can't be true. That's not how it worked, and continue to lie to you. We know now that Trump derangement syndrome is driving the Democratic Party insane, or more insane than they already have been during the campaign and so on. And then we know now what's been uncovered by Doge, which brings us to talk about the judge coming out and saying that USAID has been hurt by and issued an order to stop looking any further into that. Well, my God, I mean, if you keep going into that particular one department, you're going to find out that there has been massive fraud, massive misuse of money, even further than what has been discovered already. And yes, these another Obama-appointed judge, and we know what they're there for, to throw a stumbling block in the way of anything that may help you and I have a better life, because they're enjoying the heck out of their life. And the only reason that they're on these daily shows kicking and screaming about Musk and Trump is because their gravy train has come to a refuel stop, and it is no longer going to be a viable avenue for them to help others launder money, which in some cases, in my estimation, have to be coming back to some of these morons that are sitting in seats of power or think that they are. And when they start to lose power, they start to panic. And when they panic, they tell the truth. And there was Schumer right out with it. And we waited and waited and waited for someone on the other side to admit to this, and here we are. So in MSNBC this morning, or yesterday actually, were trying their best to try and correlate the removal of the gangs that have threatened communities, come here illegally, and started pushing for takeovers. They're correlating it, or trying to correlate it, and I'll show you this here in a minute, the Japanese internment camps during World War II. Did they not go to school? Did they not understand anything? Did they not learn anything from history? Or they just devoid of intelligence in that category, to say what AOC would say. but they're equating the removal of these thugs from our country and being sent back to countries of origin, or in some cases where we have a criminal bunch that have been murderers, rapists, thieves. They're going to jails in other countries, and now we're getting MSNBC trying to correlate it with Japanese internment camps. Well, during a war with Japan, they did, and I'm not condoning this, I don't think it was the right thing to do, but when you have a vast population of people in your country from the country you're at war with, you have to put an eye on that, and you have to do it in a humane way. And I'm not sure, I wasn't alive at the time they did this, but a lot of people think it was wrong. But there is no correlation here at all between the Japanese internment camps and the removal of thugs, thieves, and murderers that were illegally entered into this country under the eyes of the border czar, Kamala Harris, at the time, and let be transferred and paid hotel rooms, cell phones, and free transportation to the city of their choice, where they regrouped and reganged to steal, sell things illegally, get into the drug trade, and actually, in several cases, murdered young women, defenseless people, and just lawless to the point where no one could stand it. And now you have these activists, aided and abetted by the mainstream media, telling you that we should not be deporting these people in that fashion because we don't know what their crimes were and we don't know this, that, and the other thing. There's no correlation between the Japanese internment camps during World War II and what has happened with the release of 20 million plus people into the United States of America, unchecked, unvetted, unvaccinated, and then you wonder why the crime rates have risen. And then you wonder why we have diseases that were eradicated in this country being brought back in by unvaccinated people.
Hush up, boy.
Peter Jeffries, President Trump just invoked the Alien Enemies Act to target Venezuelan nationals. We haven't seen this law be used to target a single ethnicity since the Japanese internment. What are you going to do to prevent the next Japanese internment and protect Venezuelans who call this country home?
Listen, we have a broken immigration system. We've got to fix it. We've got to fix it in a comprehensive and bipartisan way. And all of us within the Democratic Party, we oppose illegal immigration.
What did you just say?
And all of us within the Democratic Party, we oppose illegal immigration.
You're lying, and I know you're lying.
Look at this headline. I couldn't believe it. I texted around. I was like, this can't be real. This happened in the middle of the Biden administration. This is NBC News this morning. Immigration accounted for all, look at that, all U.S. population growth in 2022 to 23, the first time since 1850. So you had the entirety of the increase of the U.S. population coming from immigration, most of it illegal, rather than live births of U.S. citizens. That's stunning. And this as they're cooking the numbers.
All of us within the Democratic Party, we oppose illegal immigration.
Bullshit.
And I'm not going to get into vaccinations, but we all know that we were vaccinated for mumps and chickenpox and measles that are now becoming in these areas where these immigrants lighted to is starting to spread. Not to mention, and they're not talking about this, but there are some new strains of these diseases that may or may not have been intentionally done. We don't know yet because we can't get a hold of what is going on that has been covered up for the last 10 years, so we don't see what's behind that curtain. It's a crime. Entering anybody's country illegally without permission is a crime. And when you start killing people, stealing from stores and selling it on the sidewalk in front of the store you stole it from, then something needs to be taken care of. And this administration is on that. Tom Homan is on that. He's my hero, and he should be yours too. And for these liberal judges that were appointed by Obama back when he needed, and we know that they do not have the jurisdiction over the President of the United States, but yet MSNBC, CNN want to tell you, oh, yes, they do. Yeah, really? Morning Little Mouth Joe is a jackass. And what they're saying there this morning is detrimental to what's really going on with inside our government houses that are being swept clean and taken a look behind the door number 3 that we never get to see. And that scares the living heck out of these judges and these Democratic seats of power that are now scrambling to figure out who the heck is in charge of that party, never mind who's going to run next. And if you want to hang your hat on the podcast being done by Newsom, where he brings in Tampon Tim to give his illiterate views on what's going to happen to the next election and what they're going to do to fight against this one, it's almost comical. It could be a sitcom, but it wouldn't last more than 2 showings if you did make a sitcom out of it. So the judge is ruling. It's all. The judge rules as seen by Joe, morning jackass. Take a look here.
Ari, I just don't know what to do when people act shocked at something that has happened like for decades. I mean, again, like I said, George W. Bush had to deal with this. Barack Obama had to deal with this repeatedly. Joe Biden had to deal with this. They didn't scream and yell and say we weren't going to listen to federal district court judges. What's changed?
Let me refresh your memory.
Joe Biden had to deal with this. They didn't scream and yell and say we weren't going to listen to federal district court judges.
Supreme Court blocked me from relieving student debt, but they didn't stop me. So far, I've relieved student debt for nearly 5 million Americans, a significant number of black borrowers.
Oh, that was different.
This is what he makes out of everything. Lie after lie after lie. And if it's a half-truth, he'll make that a lie. There's no way in hell that these people that he brings on to back up his theories are right in any fashion about what's going on. And then when you go over to CNBC to get the look at what's going on financially in this country, you get, oh, well, you know, it's inflation is not coming down. That's a lie. It is. The numbers came out, and they're good. And inflation is dropping, not so fast. But what do we have here? 8 weeks of fixing something that took 4 years to blow up. And we have to piece these little pieces back together to get to the nation and let them know things will be better. And it is already better. The price of eggs are half, and so on and so on. So it's happening, but they want to make you believe that, tariffs are bad. Tariffs are going to kill our economy. It's going to put us in a recession. It's going to do this and it's going to do that. These people that are telling you this do not understand the bargaining power of tariffs and the power to bring in cash, which means less taxes for you and I, and they can't see that because they have to rail against, and they are all together in this. MSNBC, CNN, all of the mainstream media has gotten behind what you heard here earlier Schumer say, that it is get Trump time. They will not admit that anything he does is good for this country, and all they have to do is wake up in the morning and open their eyes and see the difference. But it doesn't matter to these talking heads, and it doesn't matter to these career politicians that have been benefiting from this, both financially and getting the accolades that they need. And the unsafest place in the world is between a camera and Chuck Schumer or any of these bunch that want to get out onto the media and be recognized as these great people, when in fact most of them have never worked a day in their life outside of government or a government job, which we all know now half of them don't show up for, but they get the big paycheck. And they get on TV and tell you what's wrong with the person that is really doing a job to get things back on track, especially the derangement syndrome on Elon Musk is gotten so far out of control that it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But they're all worried that we deporting people is going to liken to the Japanese internment camps. Well, here, look.
One of the things that's an issue here is whether it's a slippery slope. You start with a list, and then a list can be used for other things. And
the no-fly list.
Well, to Fox and the New York Times, you said the Japanese internment camps in the U.S. during World War II could provide precedent for keeping registries.
Did you actually see the tape, though?
Well, you said you didn't support internment camps, but that their existence could provide precedent for some sort of a registry of people.
I'm curious. Did you see the tape, though?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
We all
saw it. And
I read your quote in the New York Times.
At no point did I ever even mention it. It was actually Megyn Kelly, which I was actually talking about immigration reform under Carter when he did the Iran thing, and then also under World War II with Japan, many other countries too. I wasn't even talking about camps. Megyn brought it up, and I was shocked.
She brought it up, but then you did say, further to the New York Times, that it would be a precedent for a registry.
Exactly. So here's the thing. I don't actually advocate for any of this. I didn't bring it up. I was shocked when Megyn brought it up. I clarified to the New York Times today. I said, look, you know what? This is something that is a huge black mark on our society, and we would never want to do it again. But you have to say that 6-3 Supreme Court decision upholding it was never overturned. Should we overturn it? We should take a look at it.
What is he proposing? He keeps bringing up FDR and what he did with Japanese, Germans. What is he saying? Is this not a slippery slope right in that direction?
Well, every time someone said internment camps, he said absolutely no. He said no, no, no. But he needs to take a look at it. We banned immigration from certain places. We scrutinized it. We registered people coming in from certain places. It is all in the best interest to protect America. And that's what people like the media that went in frenzy today over that doesn't understand. Do you want to be safe or not? Like, he's not trying to hurt anybody. He's just trying to keep America safe.
It's almost ridiculous what we have to go through and put up with from the Democratic side of the aisle that used to be a viable party. And both parties here are at fault in various areas of what is being looked at right now. No one is really innocent sitting on either side of that aisle. You do have some people that really do care and love this country and will work to make it a better place for you and I to live. However, you have an awful lot that are worried about their own pockets, their own reelection, and how much money they can raise to use against the other side that may be working on the behalf of us, the citizenry of this country, the legal citizenry of this country. And the fact that they tried to bring in 20 million votes under the guise of whatever, we don't know, but it's going to be found out, and we're going to find out who the people are, and this is where the fear is emanating in the Democratic family right now. And their answer to their fear is to go to the news networks and make you afraid. And they want you to be afraid. They don't want you to relax and start to enjoy life one more time. Because you know why? Because then, if you're happy, you're not going to vote for them in the next election or the midterm elections. They're worried about losing seats. This is their main worry, not your economy, not what you have to spend on heating oil, not what you have to spend on gasoline, and above all, they don't care if you eat poisoned food because you can't afford good food because of their policies. They do not care about you or I or anyone else except for a vote. They'll promise you anything, but they deliver next to nothing for you and I, but plenty for themselves and their party of jackasses that are in the street singing and hollering and carrying signs and promoting hate and division among the American population. There is no other way to look at this. It's there. It's before your very eyes, and you need to make everyone you know aware that you're aware of what's really going on. They put up a smokescreen of DEI, of weather-related catastrophes, of the sky is falling, and you're going to get hit by it. And Elon Musk is the worst person in the world. Let's go out and demonstrate by violence. And they are promoting violence when you look at what they're doing to the Tesla dealerships that are innocent people trying to make a living, and they're out burning and destroying the windows, and in some cases, hurting people. This is the Democratic cry against Elon Musk for doing what? For putting a roadblock in the front of their gravy train that is coming to a stop. And when that stops, there's no reason for them to any longer be in those seats of power because it won't pay them enough. So maybe they should think about going over to South Africa and joining up with Hunter Biden. He can help them make money. He did it for his father. He did it for his family. He did it for himself and got caught and then got pardoned. So don't tell me about how bad the pardon for the January 6 people was. At least they put some time in a prison, which probably shouldn't have been, and lives were destroyed by a January 6 committee that had to be pardoned lest you and I find the truth of what really happened with the January 6 committee and the fact that the FBI and Nancy Pelosi were the orchestrators of the entire show that was that day. And if I hear one more time people on MSNBC saying that policemen were killed. That's not true. There was one person killed, and it was killed by someone who had no right to pull his gun and shoot an unarmed woman for looking in a window. Got away with that scot-free, didn't he? So where's the justice there? It was orchestrated. It was a grand Hollywood show and play for you and I to see, to get someone the power to waste your tax dollars. And that is the riff for today. We're in trouble here, and the only way out of it is to trust in what we have as a president and a cabinet today that are saying they see it, they're going after it, they're going to fix it. They campaigned on it, and all along the campaign told us emphatically that Elon Musk was going to be part of finding out what was going on. This is not something that happened out of a vacuum. We heard it during the campaign. We know what they're talking about. And here we are, and it's happening. They're trying to do the job, and their roadblocks are being put up by the party that perpetrated the wrongdoing that is being found out today. And for the judges that want to stop USAID from funding despots all over the world, this is not what they're telling you. This is all this DEI junk that they were going to fund for billions of dollars across the world, and while people in North Carolina, in some cases, are still in tents wondering how they're going to survive after losing everything that they've worked all their lives to garner. And there's no help for them. But if you want to teach young people in Africa how to wear dresses and mutilate themselves, then we got all kinds of money for those people. This is what they don't want you finding out. It's pure and simple. So it's hump day here. It's Wednesday, and we're looking at a pretty nice day today, a little overcast this morning, but they say that it will be partly cloudy most of the day, but hitting 80 degrees here. So we should start to see some blooming happening. Our crocus are already up. The irises are breaking ground, and we're looking at what we think will be a beautiful spring season here in East Tennessee and the Appalachian region that encompasses this area. We still have a lot of coming back to do in certain parts, such as Irwin, Tennessee, that got hit so bad by the Helene hurricane. And literally businesses were swept down the river. Homes were swept down the river. Cattle were swept down the river. And horses and people's cars and homes. So it's going to take a while for that cleanup to finish up, but they have done a marvelous job so far as getting Route 26 back open. In some cases, the lanes are a little congestive, but they're working on it and doing a fine job. So come the rest of the spring, we'll be out and about to some of these areas that got hit very badly and try and give some business to the mom and pop stores that are still struggling in these areas to try and bring back their business. And we'll be around doing that. As we said when this happened, the last thing we wanted to do was take our cameras and go into people's suffering, and we did not do that. Some did, and we were able to see the inside result, but we decided to let these people go and pray every day for these people, and we still are. And we pray for everyone in this country, and please say a prayer for this president and the cabinet that is fighting so hard on our behalf and being blocked by the devil's minions that work directly for old Beelzebub himself. So with that, we're going to wish you a very, very happy and profitable and prayerful day this Wednesday. And with that, Kaiser and I will say, stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for more commentary and some memes and visits around the Appalachian region. Bye-bye now.